Why graphene will soon take over the world. People get fuel right out of thin air. The shortage of water on Earth has come to an end because ocean water has become drinkable. Metals don't rust anymore. People don't have any need for electric bulbs, replacing them with glowing wallpaper. Humans are steadily becoming biotic. That's not the latest sci-fi movie we're describing. It's a very probable and very close future that will become possible thanks to the wonder material called graphene. But the most amazing thing about this semi-metal of the future is the fact that you can produce it yourself in your living room. We'll tell you how to do this a bit later on. But right now, spot the red subscription button on the screen and press it. This will take you to the bright side of life. There you'll be greeted with hundreds of useful and cool videos. Don't hesitate to ring the notification bell. That's how Brightsiders learn about daily updates on the channel. What is graphene and why is it so amazing? One of the things that makes graphene so cool is that it's the thinnest material you can imagine. It's just 1 atom thick. This means this material is mathematically two-dimensional, and you can still hold this single layer of atoms in your hands. Doesn't that blow your mind? Wow! Surprisingly, graphene isn't a unique or rare substance. In fact, it has the same carbon structure as the graphite you use every day when you draw or write with your pencil. But at the same time, in 0.03 inches of graphite, there are about 3 million graphene layers. Dr. Konstantin Novozolov and Professor Andrei Geim discovered the wonder material in 2004 at the University of Manchester. They were examining how efficient graphite is as a transistor. The story goes that graphene appeared thanks to sticky tape. After Professor Geim and Dr. Novozolov stuck this tape to a piece of graphite, they pulled free a single layer of the material. This left them with graphene. In 2010, they were awarded a Nobel Prize for their invention. Graphene used to be incredibly expensive to manufacture. It cost a whopping $1,100 to produce enough graphene to cover the head of a pin. However, by the end of 2015, you could buy 0.35 ounces of graphene for $1,000. Even better, due to the optimized methods of production, specialists expect the price of this substance to reduce even more. It may eventually become as low as the cost of the raw material, graphite. Graphene is incredibly stretchy. It can stretch as much as 25% of its length. This material is also really stiff. Actually, it's the hardest material people know about, even harder than diamonds, and that says a lot. In fact, nothing less than an elephant balancing on a sharpened pencil will be able to pierce graphene. Despite being two-dimensional, graphene can still be seen, and you don't even need to bother with a microscope. This single layer of atoms is perfectly visible to the naked eye. One more great thing about graphene is its relationship with electricity. This material carries electricity more quickly, more precisely, and more efficiently than any other known material. The reason is that the current density of graphene is many million times better than that of copper. As for its intrinsic mobility, it's much better than silicon. Thus, electrons have no resistance when they move through graphene. As a result, people can potentially use graphene to produce batteries that will have 10 times the electrical retention capacity of anything we have today. One more quality of graphene that scientists find extremely interesting is that it expands when cooled and shrinks when it gets warm. There are no other examples of materials with a similar quality. All normal substances act in the opposite way. They become larger when they are heated and smaller when they get cold. However hard you try, you won't be able to squeeze even a single atom of helium through graphene. This makes this semi-metal the most impermeable material discovered so far. Consequently, graphene can function as the ideal gas detector. At the same time, while atoms have difficulty getting through graphene, there's nothing simpler for electrons. According to Professor Geim, that makes this material perfect for conducting experiments in high-speed quantum physics. Graphene has huge potential. That's probably why the EU devoted $1.3 billion to research that's supposed to last for a decade, from 2013 to 2023. This research is intended to find out how graphene can alter the very principles of the electronics, health, construction, and energy sectors. How can graphene be used? There are countless opportunities that graphene can provide to humanity. A space elevator. This idea appeared in 1979 in a sci-fi novel by Sir Arthur Clarke called The Fountain of Paradise. The elevator described in the book looked like a tower with paper-thin walls and a hollow interior. The sides were 12 miles apart, and it went 22,000 miles up. The idea of such an elevator sounds completely outlandish, but if it were built, space would become accessible and affordable. Until recently, the main problem has been finding materials light enough and strong enough to support such an elevator. However, with the discovery of graphene, things may finally get off the ground. Drinkable ocean water. Graphene may be the answer to the water crisis many countries are facing. If we make membranes from graphene, they would be able to let water through while filtering out salt at the same time. This would be a revolution in desalination technology. Such membranes can also purify water. In fact, in 2018, scientists from Australia's Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organisation made seawater drinkable after just a single use of a particular form of graphene called Graphene. Dong Han So, one of the researchers, said that this technology can make any water drinkable, no matter how dirty it is. Super strong body armor. One layer of graphene is impressive enough. Can you imagine what you could achieve with 2 layers of this super material? Nothing short of incredibly strong body armor. Researchers from Georgia Tech have recently demonstrated how 2 atomic layers of graphene manage to remain intact after scientists tried to perforate them with a diamond tip. Healthcare. Scientists at the University of Illinois have discovered that graphene can assist in detecting cancerous cells in the body. Researchers from the University of Texas have invented temporary tattoos that are based on graphene. These tattoos are far from a simple body decoration. They can keep track of a person's vitals, including their level of hydration and skin temperature. Recharging gadgets. New batteries based on graphene will be able to recharge incredibly quickly. It will be possible for them to go from empty to full in just 15 minutes. What's more, they can be charged more than 3,500 times. That's pretty impressive for a regular battery. I can't even keep my phone charged for a day. Flexible smartphone displays. If producers start to use graphene in gadget manufacturing, we might end up with smartphones that can bend in any direction. One of graphene's main properties is its flexibility. Thus, electronics based on graphene technology will inherit the same trait. Running shoes for a new generation. Such running shoes have already been tested in the labs of the University of Manchester. Their difference from other running shoes lies in the fact that their rubber outsoles are made with the addition of graphene. As a result, they are much stretchier and stronger than more common materials. Thus, such shoes will last much longer. Glowing wallpaper. Graphene may be the reason why light bulbs become a thing of the past. Thin glowing wallpaper with graphene-based electrode technology will provide pleasant and adjustable lighting for houses. In addition, such lighting will also be much more energy efficient than modern light bulbs. A no-rust world. As we have already mentioned, graphene is practically impermeable. That's why just one coating of graphene-based paint will be able to prevent rust and corrosion. Copper plates covered with such paint may even be used as containers to hold extremely corrosive acids. Safe hair dyeing. Graphene can be used in the beauty industry as well. It will be the perfect alternative to current hair dyes, most of which are still toxic and damaging to hair. In 2018, scientists from Northwestern University found out that graphene can be as effective as permanent hair dyes without the need for toxic molecular ingredients. Also, unlike other hair dyes, graphene has antibacterial thermal dissipation and anti-static qualities. The experts sprayed a gel based on graphene oxide onto blonde hair. It was left to dry for 10 minutes. The hair ended up being covered with a graphene film that was only 2 microns thick. All the participants reported that the color stayed in place even after 30 washes. Can you make graphene at home? Well, you can potentially make graphene at home, provided you have enough time and patience to do so. You'll need several pieces of sticky tape and a lead pencil. After you deposit a thick layer of graphite onto a piece of paper, use some sticky tape to remove a layer of the graphite. Then, use the second piece of sticky tape to remove a layer of graphite from the first one. The third piece of sticky tape will peel off a layer of graphite from the second one, and so on. If you're patient enough, you'll notice how the layers of graphite become thinner and thinner. In the end, you're supposed to end up with a single layer of graphite, which will be our two-dimensional graphene. This method might be a little tiresome, but it won a Nobel Prize after all. Which use of graphene do you find most amazing? Do you believe that this material will change the future? Tell us in the comments below. And if you're always ready to learn something new and exciting, remember to give us a thumbs up. This inspires us to create new videos to make your life more thrilling here on the bright side.